Hope you're enjoying the music right now on Gold FM. Only the classic hits, especially if you're spending your time at home or around the office. I certainly hope you're taking it easy and enjoying the music coming your way. Well, I got a whole lot more to keep you moving and to keep you going right up until you reach lock-off time. I'm Kara. Join me every weekday from 2 to 7 on The Ride, only on Gold FM.
Tonight, Fijian PM takes a swipe at Pacific Islands Forum as he launches inaugural PIDF meet. Father and son front court for alleged manhole cover theft. And Greenpeace report on Pacific tuna fisheries challenges regional governments. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and you're watching FBC News. The inaugural meeting of the Pacific Islands Development Forum got underway in Nandi this morning. It is a historic occasion for the region's newest body that is expected to eventually rival the Pacific Islands Forum. Prime Minister Vorengeng Bainimarama says the Pacific Islands Forum has been dominated by only a few and no longer represents the interests and needs of other regional countries. Christopher Chand reports.
The PIDF was officially opened this morning with a 100-man guard of honor and traditional welcome for the chief guest, the Prime Minister of East Timor, Zanana Gazmao.
Navulakidokai. O irana nonda kaze. Ereitauke ni vanua.
His speech in the Itoke language caught many by surprise.
I must congratulate the government of Fiji for hosting this important event towards a prosperous future for the Pacific region through a green economy.
The importance of this significant event was highlighted by the Prime Minister. Fiji has been suspended from the Pacific Islands Forum since 2009.
Why do we need a new body, a new framework of cooperation? Because the existing regional structure for the past 4 decades, the Pacific Islands Forum, is for governments only, and has also come to be dominated only by a few. In too many instances, it no longer genuinely represents our interests and needs.
While many Pacific countries are here to support the event, Samoa has shown its position.
It is unfortunate that certain Pacific countries are not here with us. They have chosen to regard this forum as a political event rather than grasp its true purpose, which is to address the very real threat that our people face and could be catastrophic if we don't act in a collaborative and unselfish manner. As leaders, we must always put our people first.
The PIDF is said to be the beginning of a new era, the start of a new legacy, to deal with issues affecting the region and to strive for green and blue economies in the Pacific. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
A 42-year-old man and his 16-year-old son appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this afternoon in relation to the alleged theft of a manhole cover in broad daylight in Suva. Chanel Sivan was in court.
Released on bail, Ramdat and his juvenile son were apprehended in Lautoka last week and held in police custody. The father and the son are charged with 1 count each of theft. They are alleged to have stolen a manhole cover in broad daylight, all of which was caught on a CCTV camera outside a shop on Rodwell Road in Suva. They are seen here removing the cover and loading it into a 4-wheel drive vehicle before driving off. The manhole cover was later recovered. Both have been released on bail. They will report to the Lautoka police station from Monday to Friday. The father and the son will reappear in court on the 6th of September. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Auckland International Airport was on alert this morning after Fiji Airways Boeing 737 returned to make an emergency landing shortly after takeoff. A New Zealand Herald report says there was a loud banging on the right side of the plane soon after it took off. Fiji Airways Public Relations Manager Shane Hussein says the flight from Auckland to Suva had to turn back after the right-hand engine experienced a problem. Hussein says as a safety and precautionary measure, the aircraft carrying 122 passengers and 6 crew returned to Auckland without incident. The passengers involved were booked on other flights. Internet shop operators in the capital city now have to close at 9 p.m. This new directive comes from the Suva City Council, which says it has noticed an increase in criminal activities involving students in the city. Shireen Lata reports.
Students who loiter in city are being found to be involved in petty crimes. The Suva City Council believes this could be reduced if the internet shops are closed on time.
Internet cafes have been operating late in the evenings, and this is bringing children into the internet shops, and they don't go home sometime until midnight. Young kids been loitering on the streets until in the night, 9, 10, 11 or 12 o'clock. And I've noticed that too recently.
The council has received complaints from the public about the behavior of students.
Frequently we get complaints about vehicle break-ins where people break in the vehicles, they take away the stereos from the car. A lot of people lose their laptops.
Shoeshine boys, who are sometimes known to harass pedestrians, have been given a stern warning.
All shoeshine boys are issued license by the council, and we check their background with the police department before we issue them with any license to do shoeshine.
In order to reduce criminal activities in the capital city, the council has signed an agreement with the Fiji police force. It has also employed road marshals who are on the street 24 hours patrolling to ensure that criminal activities do not occur in the capital. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
A father of 2 has been sentenced to 10 years in prison by the Lambasa High Court for raping a 5-year-old Savu girl. The incident happened last September when the child was playing in a compound after school. While delivering the sentence, Judge Justice Prabhaharan Kumararatnam told the accused that he had taken away the child's dignity in society and put her future in the dark. He will be eligible for parole after 8 years. Pacific Island countries have been challenged by Greenpeace to develop small-scale, locally owned fisheries to maximize economic returns, create jobs, and protect tuna reserves. Those are the highlights of a report titled Transforming Tuna Fisheries in Pacific Island Countries, an Alternative Model of Development. It was launched at the Greenpeace office in Suva this morning. Roland Karoy reports.
The Pacific region supplies over 60% of all tuna consumed globally, but according to Greenpeace, returns for Pacific Island countries are very low. The report launched today recommends a change in this trend.
The region receives 5 to 6% from a sector that is worth close to 7 billion annually. So what we're saying in this report is that there needs to be a change to that. We'd like to see more benefits.
Speaking from Australia via video conferencing, the report's lead author shared the same sentiments. Dr. Kate Barclay used Fiji as one of the 2 case studies while preparing the report.
Some of those companies have a very high level of Fijian involvement, from crewing through to managing and administering in the offices. And so the case study here builds on what might be done to strengthen that.
There have been recent media reports of stakeholders here expressing their concern of the increasing number of foreign vessels fishing in Fiji's EEZ. This area has also been covered in the report, with the hope that regional governments will consider its recommendations.
In the case of the South Pacific albacore fishery, there's been a large influx of foreign subsidized boats that are migrating from the Indian Ocean here to the Pacific. And what they've actually done is they've driven the cost of operating a fleet through the roof.
Following today's launch, a workshop highlighting issues in this report will be held in Honiara in September, involving Pacific Island countries and stakeholders. Roland Karoy, FBC News.
Gaunda Shipping launches services of Lomaiviti Princess 2. That's coming up after the break.
How would you like to spend your morning? You could spend your morning like this. Or you could spend it like this.
Tune in to the Morning Ride every weekday morning from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Hit Music.
Nisambulu binaka oya wone kamanalangi oni nandorungo viao mai na diwa kina rua na bisinga mai na moniti kina bagarumbuka na Radio Fiji wana ndomai biti bongani bionyano na makatalengana benga ona sasi biani na tinna kaloka na bembongi ni bukilulu kena bima mani walu na bembongi ni bakarowai mai na mbuza ni balu ninge namaka.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. The Biosecurity Authority of Fiji hopes to resume the export of amaranthus, also locally known as tumbo or baji, to New Zealand as soon as possible. BAF Acting CEO Matai Matakitonga says Fiji has placed a temporary suspension on the export of the leafy vegetable, noting there was no ban by New Zealand as we had reported earlier. BAF recently intercepted insects called thrips in a consignment of the vegetable being exported to New Zealand. Matakitonga says the BAF temporary suspension is a precaution to allow them to conduct their own audit of the amaranthus SSP export pathway and ensure that corrective measures are put in place. BAF will lift the suspension once it's satisfied with the internal audit. People living on the maritime islands, especially Koro, will soon have their supply shipping normalized. This comes with the maiden voyage of a new service by the Lomaiviti Princess II, due to depart for Levuka at this hour. It will arrive in Koro tomorrow. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
Shipping problems could be a thing of the past since Gander Shipping is looking at introducing 2 more ships, one in November and the other next year. At present, the government is reviewing the shipping franchise scheme in regard to fares and cargo rates, and the owner, George Gander, says the review will serve residents of smaller islands well.
I'm an islander. I've been sailing in the old sailing vessel. It's hard for the islanders. Since we came down, we've managed to bring the fare down to where it's affordable to the people. To earn $1 in the village is very hard.
Lomaiviti Princess II is making her first trip to Levuka and Koro tonight, and George Gander says more inter-island ships are on their way.
As announced here, the 3rd vessel is on its way. I'll be heading up to Canada next month. I've got to sit down with my wife and kids and see how we're going to manage this year. Next year, we'll try to get 2 more vessels, then we'll be stabilizing this economy.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Works and Transport, Colonel Timothy Lesinatuva, says they are committed to improving services for those living on the smaller islands.
The government is undertaking a number of reviews to ensure efficient and effective running of the shipping franchise schemes in Fiji. These reviews include freight rates, passenger fares, franchise routes and franchise rates. We are also looking into the tax concession that are currently in place.
Colonel Latuva says that the official launching of the operation of the Lomaiviti Princess II marks the culmination of a private and public partnership which will benefit the people. Vosita Kotiwaswasa, FBC News.
The third accused in an alleged $3 million bribery scam involving a businessman and 2 former employees of the Department of National Roads, Navita Laita Manitokula, was released on $1,000 bail today. FICAC produced the 3 in the Suva Magistrates Court last week on charges of bribery, obtaining a financial advantage, and abuse of office. The alleged loss to the government amounts to over $3 million. It is alleged that between 27th February to July 2012, Firoz Mohammed, director of TF Jan Bulldozing Company Limited, offered payments amounting to $93,000 to the second accused, Iliesa Turangadati. These payments were allegedly made from funds allocated for the upgrading of the Nausori Highland area. Monday Sports Time, and we welcome Jamie with the very latest. So what's making the sports headlines?
Well, there's a lot, Jackie. With the Battle of the Giants starting this weekend, we have the very latest from the Navua camp. Also, women's rugby gets a helping hand. Stay with FBC Sports for that and more.
Isambolo binaka, na dango wadi soni dalai, na makil mani wasini ngono borota kina lali ne kabi, mai na tolu kina bitu, ena moni dingina por rombuka, ena Mbula FM, na bandu ena serre.
सूरज की पहली किरण के साथ दिन की शुरुआत कीजिए। सुबह का मंगल प्रभात आपको शुभ हो। सुबह सुबह हो खुशियों का मेला, ना लोगों की परवाह, ना दुनिया का झमेला, पंछियों का संगीत हो और मौसम अलबेला। मुबारक हो आपको ये खूबसूरत सवेरा। हर सोमवार से लेकर शुक्रवार तक सुबह 6 से लेकर 9 बजे तक शामिल रहें रेडियो फिजी 2 पर हम सफर में रविंद्र सिंह के साथ।
Welcome back. First up in sports tonight, the Fiji Rugby Union says all decisions made by the independent committee set up to look into the appeals by Tailevu and Nandrunga will be final. The committee was proposed by unions at the special general meeting on Saturday, and the FRU board agreed. Tailevu has appealed the decision to chuck out its protest against Namosi, while Nandrunga is still unhappy with the 5 points deducted from them after not playing against Naita Siri in the first round of the Digital Cup. The committee meets tomorrow. Come November, women's rugby is expected to be one of the biggest features at the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens in Singatoka. There are 3 major reasons why this year's event will be exceptional. The Aussie Pearls are returning to defend their title. There's been an increase in the number of participating teams and a $25,000 sponsorship from Goodman Fielder. As Elena McDonald reports, all these elements provide for thrilling competition.
The Aussie Pearls were the first to etch their names on the Crest Nairi Trophy. To get on the next plaque, it'll take a required effort, with everyone else preparing and hoping for their turn for glory.
There's also 3 other teams confirmed from Australia at the moment. We're expecting 4 or maybe 5 or even 6 teams from Fiji, and we've still got our fingers crossed that the likes of the United States will send a couple of representatives and maybe even from further afield.
For Goodman Fielder, seizing this opportunity was one not to be missed.
We're confident that a platform has been created for women's rugby, and we're very proud to be associated with this. And I feel optimistic that our sponsorship will create awareness and momentum for the build-up to the Rio Olympic Games.
And if this trophy isn't incentive enough, organisers are looking to boost the prize purse.
We've still got a couple of things to finalise, but it's last year it was 5,000 first prize and 2.5 second. And we're very much looking to increase that now with this support.
There's a lot to look forward to for our women ruggers, with 3 months left to prepare. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
The Navo football team looks like it could surprise the big guns at the Ink Mobile Battle of the Giants. Navo is serious with its preparation, and with some key signings, the southern side is ready for the challenge at Lambasa's Subrel Park. Selvin Chan visited the team during training.
It seems that Navo's prayers to have a formidable strike force could have been answered. Former Lotoka hitman Nigerian Anthony Ali joined the team over the weekend.
I think Pernil, he's from Navua. Just in the previous window he had gone to Suva, and then again he has come back to Navua. I think he doesn't have any problem because he has played with the other players for a long time.
Navua in the first game not only faces host Lambasa, but along with them, the very vocal home crowd.
For me, I think that is an advantage for us because since Lambasa has brought in so many players, big names into the team, so definitely the team would be under pressure, playing under pressure, because they will have the fear inside them, what will happen if they don't perform up to the expectation.
The performance in the last tournament was not actually what the management had anticipated.
The team is really moving forward very well, and I think we are, not only for BOG, we are very well preparing for the next season as well.
Navua are in a pool with Lambasa, Rewa and Lotoka. A strong performance from them could see them making into the last 4. Shalvin Chan, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Suva football side has been boosted by the inclusion of Sireli Vosa and Lovnil Pratap. The 2 who joined from Nandrunga and Tailevu Naita Siri respectively have been roped into the 22-member squad by coach Gurjit Singh. Singh has been putting the players through tough morning and afternoon sessions as the Whites bid to win the BOG for the first time since 1995. Netball Fiji has set out to implement a better strategic plan for improved services to its affiliates. The organization had its annual general meeting over the weekend to review and discuss existing policies, among other things. Talenta Dakadaka reports.
Netball Fiji's annual general meeting that was held over the weekend was an opportunity to discuss targets achieved as well as to set new ones. Netball executives were generally satisfied with what they have accomplished so far.
We have achieved most of our targets. Our targets were
to ensure that we are financially viable, and we are getting to that point to have our accounts audited, and that's been done, to be able to send out teams to international events, and also to be able to host international events, and we've accomplished most of this.
One particular issue that was brought up was the need to audit the sporting body's financial account, something which has not been done in recent time.
There were some major weaknesses that we found in trying to get the accounts audited, was that there was a lack of comparative figures. In actual fact, we came into power in 2010, later in 2010, and we did not have any audited accounts to begin with.
Netball Fiji has set about getting their financial records in order, with a report to be tabled in a special general meeting in November. A host of local and international tournaments on the horizon speaks volumes of the efforts put in by Netball Fiji. Chalendo Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
Weightlifting is looking at medals from the 4 athletes who will fly Fiji's colors at the Pacific Mini Games in Wallace and Fortuna, despite Olympians Maria Liko and Manueli Tulo opting to take a sabbatical from the sport. Weightlifting Fiji believes its young brigade have the strength to return as winners.
Weightlifting Fiji has been training 4 athletes for the mini games. While the pressure is high on them, the administrators believe that these 4 are medal prospects.
There's 2 in Labuka, a student and a school teacher. The other 2 are training in New Caledonia at the Oceania Weightlifting Institute with Paul Crawford.
This is also the smallest team weightlifting has taken to a recent regional game.
Not for our sports alone, but for all the sports. And we were still lucky to be taking 4 athletes. And our ladies are all paid, so it's just train until we go to the games.
Despite the slight setbacks, weightlifting has made a habit of being the outstanding performers for Fiji.
We had 7 athletes. They did okay. Our best performance was in New Caledonia in 2011. We won, because we had a bigger team, we won more medals. And I think this games is the smallest team ever. We're only taking 4 athletes. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll come back with 4 gold.
The 4 weightlifters will be going against some of the region's best at the games. Shalvin Chand, FBC Sports.
That was your Monday Night Sports. It's back to Jackie now for business.
In the government's push for new markets, the focus now is on regional partnerships, especially within the Melanesian Spearhead Group. More than 40 businesses from around the region have shown interest at the MSG Investment Roadshow and Trade Fair underway at Sheraton Fiji on Denarau. Akosita Tale has more.
Delegates from MSG member countries have gathered here to discuss ways they can benefit through trade and investment, and topping discussions are ways to increase exports.
Part of this trade fair is essentially to showcase not just the opportunities but the potential and the existing strengths that exist within the MSG group. What we want to do through this trade show is to keep a momentum going.
Local businesses and those overseas have every reason to smile as more opportunities have surfaced.
Solomon Islands, which should come on stream very, very soon, but already Papua New Guinea and Vanuatu have removed the negative lists. Fiji, of course, was the first one that removed the negative lists.
Aya Sayed Kayum says with the many significant improvements made, neighboring countries will soon show interest in trade.
And there is the ability to provide various services in terms of movement of labor, etc., where there may not be the particular skill sets that exist within one of the MSG countries which the other can provide.
Fiji, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands and New Caledonia are displaying their window of opportunities at the show. The inaugural 3-day MSG Trade Fair and Roadshow ends on Wednesday. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Well, the time now, and Jen, you're looking extra chirpy today.
Aren't I always? It's a new week with new possibilities, Jackie. Let's see what's in store for us weather-wise. Looking at our map here, I see a lot of sunshine. There's only 2 clouds on our map, which means that overall we had lovely fine conditions throughout the country. Time for that temperature chart. There it is. It seems that 3 of our major centers were on 29 degrees today. The highest was 32 degrees in Lambasa, and Savu trailed everyone else on 27. Wondering what tomorrow has in store? Well, if you were hoping that this great weather continues, you're in luck. Aside from some afternoon rain in Savu and the capital city, Tuesday will be clear and sunny. And now that we're done with all those boring formalities, it's photo time. Vinaka Salome for sending in this brilliant picture, which was taken at Sinuvada village on Koro. I just love the bold colors. That was Monday's weather. Thanks so much for joining me. Till the next photo, stay safe and stay smiling.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. The headlines again. Fijian PM takes a swipe at Pacific Islands Forum as he launches inaugural PIDF meet. Father and son front court for alleged manhole cover theft. And Greenpeace report on Pacific tuna fisheries challenges regional governments. Now for the results of last week's poll question, and we had asked, is it still relevant for Fiji to be part of the Pacific Island Forum? 71% of you said yes. To this week's question, and we're asking, should overseas soccer players participate in local tournaments? Visit www.fbc.com.fj to take part. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. Until tomorrow, good night.
आपकी शादी होने वाली है। 5 बच्चे होंगे। 5 हाय, मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली वेणु। सुनते रहिए मिर्ची FM। मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक।